few days ago I asked people to get involved with a Q&A that I was going to do. I wasn't sure how it was going to go, but I'm really pleased with the response. We've had several people ask questions, which is really good, and thank you for everyone for getting involved. It means a real lot to me. The first question was asked by how to draw famous people. He does stuff like he does drawings, obviously, and he does reviews and reactions. He's a Manchester United fan. I will link everyone's channel in the description. He asked, what do you think of Alexandro? Obviously, Alexandro has been linked with Manchester United. He's a very good player. He offers a lot going forward. They certainly need someone on the left-hand side. He is a very attacking option. I'm not sure how that will transcend for Mourinho, who prefers to play a bit more defensive. But obviously he's probably one of the best left-backs in the world, with the likes of up there with David Alaba and Jordi Alba and people like that. Next question was asked by Football Luca, who follows me on Twitter. He asked, who do you think will win the World Cup? Nobody's really picked them much, but I think Brazil will win the World Cup. They have so much attacking flair. They have so much going forward. They have Firmino, Jesus, Coutinho, Neymar. They have so much going forward, and I really think that that's who I'm going to go for. They have loads of options. So TT has done really well since coming in. They qualified with ease, and that is my pick, Brazil, to win the 2018 World Cup in Russia. Question 3 was asked by It's Ryan, who is a football vlogger. He goes to a lot of non-league games as well as some Arsenal games now and then. He has nearly 1,000 subscribers, so he's definitely worth checking out. He asked, why do I like football? I like football basically because my family likes football, and that's sort of how I got into it. So my dad supports Hereford like I do, and that's why I started going to Hereford. And yeah, my family are either Hereford fans or Shrewsbury fans, because that's where I'm from. And yeah, so basically my family. Premier League team I support is of course Manchester City. And predictions for next season. It's a bit early to make predictions for next season, but I am expecting Manchester United to improve. I'm expecting Liverpool to improve. I'm expecting Liverpool to go close next season, and I'm expecting Arsenal to struggle again if they appoint Arteta. I'm expecting Everton to do a bit better next season as well. Obviously Burnley can't repeat what they did next season, and that sort of ties into question 4, once again asked by how to draw famous people, 18-19 predictor table. It's far too early to predict it. It's tough at this. It's tough at any point to predict the table. Even going towards like a few weeks ago, you wouldn't have probably picked them to get out of it. So, like I say, I think that everyone will improve, and it's going to be tough for City. Question 5 was asked by Chad Gable. I assume it's not the real Chad Gable. How far will England go in the World Cup? I think they'll get knocked out in the quarterfinals, and I'd be pretty happy with that. To be fair, I'm not expecting much. As long as we get knocked out to a decent side. If we get knocked out by the likes of Iceland again, that'd be very embarrassing. Favourite non-supported club player of all time. My favourite player in the Premier League, besides the likes of Vincent Kompany, Silva, etc., is Thierry Henry. As I was growing up, he was so special, such a beautiful player to watch. During a time where Arsenal were dominating the Premier League, they were a different class, and he was a class above. He's probably one of the best players to ever grace the Premier League, and he is always my favourite player that didn't play for City, and I really enjoyed seeing him play. Question 6 was asked by Football Stuff. Football Stuff doesn't have a YouTube channel. How do I make my thumbnails and favourite other sports? So I make my thumbnails using Photoshop. I usually get the rendered pictures off Footy Renders. If I can't find any of those, I do cut them out myself, which I'm not very good at, but I always give it a go, and then use Photoshop to put them in. So I have several like files saved with like the different panels, so 3 people or 2, and I can just put the pictures in and put some text on there. Favourite of sports, I watch baseball. My team is the Seattle Mariners, and I also watch a little bit of cricket. I don't really have a team, but I went to watch Worcestershire, which was the only time I've ever been, and I really enjoyed it. So I guess if I had to pick one team, it would probably be them. Question 7 was asked by Fed Daily, who upload content such as press conferences, post-match reaction interviews and things like that. How does autism affect having my YouTube channel? So obviously, those who aren't aware, I do have in my description, I have autism. It affects me. I have to edit it a lot because I can't talk for a long period of time. I can forget easily, and if I'm thinking about something, then I normally say it even though I don't want to. Every thing I post, I worry about backlash to a big. I wouldn't stop thinking about it, and it would be extremely hard for me to like do things if I get any sort of negative. I don't like just brush it off. I would think about it for a long time. A lot of editing in my videos. I can't talk for a long period of time. There are some upsides. I enjoy doing this, and it helps in some ways with my. I used to have a very good memory, and this is still alright. So that's also a positive. Who will win the World Cup? As I said before, Brazil. 3 Ballon d'Or contenders that aren't Messi or Ronaldo. So that's an interesting question. Number 1 would be Salah. He's had an incredible season. Could take Liverpool to the Champions League title, which would be absolutely incredible. David De Gea from Manchester United. He is brilliant. He's probably the best goalkeeper in the world. He's a class above anyone else, and he deserves to be in that mention. Third of all, Kevin De Bruyne. Potentially the best midfielder in the world. He's unbelievable. He controls the ball so well, and he's just fantastic. Question 8, asked by Charles J, who does he does videos of previews, reviews, similar to what I do really, mainly just football. Kevin De Bruyne or Salah, just based on the fact he's only done it in 1 season, I would go with De Bruyne. Who is the best team in Europe? That's such a hard, difficult question, because you see that City have run away with the title, but they didn't go as far as they wanted to in Europe. Liverpool are in the final, but they're miles behind City. Real Madrid are in the final for the 3rd year running, hoping to win a 3rd Champions League in a row, but they're miles behind Barcelona. Barcelona lost to Roma. So it's a very, very difficult question. I think if Real Madrid win the Champions League for a 3rd time, I don't think I can look past them. So I'd go with Real Madrid if they win the Champions League. I think that would just be an unbelievable, incredible achievement. Number 9 was asked by Adam Darkin from AED Screamers. He does vlogs of his team in League One, which is Peterborough United. Very good vlogs. I do watch them when they are uploaded, because obviously the season is now ended. He asked, do I support a team in League One? The answer is no. I do keep an eye on League One. Shrewsbury, who are very close to where I live, they're doing incredible in League One. I keep an eye on all leagues, but no. Hereford, as you probably know, went up into League One not so long ago, along with Peterborough, and things went south very quickly. Football Talk, who uploads like list videos of stadiums and things like that. Other sports I follow, baseball and cricket. And what other leagues do I follow? I follow pretty much, at least have a little grasp on the Premier League, Football League, the National League North and South, and I do keep not an eye on most non-leagues where Hereford have been. I keep an eye on those, and yeah, so I haven't done it as much due to personal problems, but I'm hoping to cover a bit more next season. I used to watch a show called the European Football Show, which was on BT Sport, hosted by James Richardson, which allowed me to keep up to date with European football, but they cancelled it, which was really annoying. I don't really follow much European football, but I do watch the Champions League and the Europa League. Question 11 was asked by Bosher123, who uploads like highlights and stuff. Who will win the Ballon d'Or? Ronaldo. Ronaldo for sure. Definitely Ronaldo. Messi second. It will be the same. It will definitely be the same. It will be Ronaldo who wins that. Question 12, one of my favourite questions so far. The Mighty Dart 13, who is a Dartford fan who uploads vlogs and stuff of Dartford, who came very close to returning to the National League this season, losing out in the playoffs. And they were minutes from going up automatically, so that was really tough. He asked, what are my hopes for Hereford next season? My hopes are to try and get into the playoffs. It's going to be tough. Some of the signings these teams are making, I'm just out there thinking, Jesus, like it's a different world to where we've been, and they have a lot more money behind them and things like that than the teams we've faced. So I'd be happy with a playoff position for sure. I'd be thrilled, but pushing playoffs is where I hope we can get to. Have you ever thought about vlogging games when I'm at Hereford? No, I have thought it in my head. I don't know if I'd be distracted from the game. There's a few people I talk to, and that's something that I enjoy, talking to some of the fans there. It is hard because of my autism. I might just forget what I'm doing and forget to record anything. Like I'm likely to sit there and forget, and I also keep an eye on all the scores on my phone, so I'd miss so much because I'm pissing about. Question 13. This is the final questions. MH96 asked, lowest footballing moment, best footballing moment, worst game I've been to, and best game I have been to. So the best game I've been to was in 2010, and it was on the 16th of October, and Hereford travelled to Northampton, and it was the day after my granddad's funeral, who I was very close to, so I was already quite upset with life, and Hereford were 3-0 down at half time. I was in a county I'd never been before, and I just wanted to go home so bad. I didn't even want to watch the second half. I was just, it was terrible, and I went on the supporters coach, so it's not like I could go home. And Fleetwood scored twice, Stuart Fleetwood, and then McCulkin scored an equaliser, and Matthew Mansey scored the winner, and we won 4-3. It was when we were bottom of the league, managerless, and it was absolutely incredible. It was probably the best game I've ever watched. It was brilliant, and I really enjoyed it. The worst game I've been to happened in 2012 when Hereford got relegated from the Football League. So basically what happened was we won against Crawley 3-0, who went up that season into League One away from home, and then we had Torquay, who were 4th in the league, and we were 3-0 up at half time, went to 3-2, but Barnet had they had Wimbledon, I think, and Burton final game. Wimbledon played a lot of youth players and made a lot of changes, and Burton hadn't won for ages, and they missed a penalty, and we went down, and it was just heartbreaking to know that we did so well, and it was just not good enough. And it was hard. I said at the time that I would have preferred just totally capitulating and going down miles behind than that. It was hard. Lowest footballing moment. So, as I've talked about extensively, I am a Hereford fan, and Hereford have been in some difficult times lately. So we were a league club for many years, promoted in 2006 and got relegated in 2012. And after that, we had lots of financial problems, and the fans helped out, and the run in the FA Cup also helped. And then the following season, the players won't get paid. The owner wasn't putting any money into the club. He was looking to sell the club, and he sold it to a crook in Tommy Agomba, who'd been to prison for theft. And there was a vote for a boycott, which I was going to boycott anyway, and it passed. And I had to see the club that I loved the most and I supported throughout my life be taken away and have its soul ripped out. And I just didn't go. It was horrible. It was horrible, and there is nothing that compares to having no club. And after Hereford got wound up in court, there was a fear for a while that the council might sell off the land of the ground, and then there would just be nothing. And it was a worry that we just wouldn't have anything. During a time of the boycott, I went to several teams to watch football. I went to Milton Keynes, Birmingham, Nottingham Forest, West Brom, Kidderminster, and Coventry, several other places, and it just wasn't the same. It wasn't right. I'm just waiting for Hereford to get back. And which ties in with the best footballing moment. Best footballing moment was our first home game. It was a friendly against FC United in Manchester, and the place was absolutely packed. It was a sellout. I could barely move for people. It was absolutely boiling. We won 1-0, but just to be there again, to stand on the meadow end once more, was the best moment I can say, because it felt like I was never going to do that again, but we did, and we've been very successful since. But that moment was absolutely incredible, just to be home, to be back where we belonged. It was fantastic, and not many clubs go through that, luckily, and the ones that do, it's very hard to understand just how painful it is. Every club goes through difficulties. It just depends what kind of difficulties they are. There's not much worse than what we went through, because we lost our club. And if you're complaining about stuff like finishing mid-table, then it's okay, and it's your problems don't matter just because someone's got worse problems. So, and there's probably, there's a lot worse than having that happen to your football club in life. But as a footballing problem, it's the worst thing that can happen. You lose the, that's what I used to do every Saturday, go to the football, and I couldn't because I just physically couldn't in the end. And we have done absolutely fantastic since. but you should appreciate every single moment you ever have, because it might go away one day. It might get, financial problems are so easy to get yourself into. So that was the best footballing moment, was when we returned to Edgar Street for our first game. It was absolutely fantastic, and it was brilliant. So that's not really what people were expecting, I guess. They were expecting some sort of promotion or something, but it was fantastic. So yeah, I shall link, if I remember, all of the channels that help me if they have a YouTube channel. Thank you so much for everyone that got involved. I was really blown away with just how many people got involved. Thank you so much, and thank you for saying well done for me on my 500 sub mark. Continue to watch the channel if you are new. I have so much more content. Thank you for taking part. I am Mike, and I will see you soon.